trade review. So this week has gone well. After February, if we continue this consistency, which is the plan, after April, when hopefully I make 10k, I can say, okay, by the end of this year I want to make £100,000, and then we can talk about making £1 million next year, which sounds pretty crazy, but from a prop firm, if I'm trading correctly, it's very much possible. Still some issues, but we'll go over that now. So the 2nd to the 6th of February, it was the liquidity retracement. So we had the massive JPY pump and USD weaken just suddenly. We took 7 trades with 3 losses and 4 wins. So our wins are now above our losses. Maximum loss was 1R. This is good risk management, man. So this was the situation I'm in. I said it here, the battle I've been fighting. I screwed up terribly. I removed my stop loss. Look at this terribleness. What I said was, I'm taking it slow. On Monday, no trades taken, and that's really good actually. I'm really thankful that I didn't get into any trades. I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't wanting to put in my money just yet. So that's something good to learn from. Tuesday, lower time frame, we can see I entered after it literally just wicked this demand zone, mitigated it, and price just continued upwards. At that point we entered with a stop loss just below the wick. Original entry belief, now this is something from Super Trader that I've started using it to write down my original entry belief. I believed the price would go up because the order block was wicked, mitigated, and bullish pressure followed. With the pro trend, we have my entry confluences, mitigated 1 hour to 4 hour bull engulfing. So we have 15-minute pressure. 1 hour we have that bullish doji followed by bullish momentum, and then on the 4 hour we also have that bullish going up. So we can see I entered at 9:05 onto the next entry. What I said here was my original entry belief. I believe the price would go up because of the 4 hour buying pressure Maribozu. Yeah, the good old Maribozu. I put the SL where my original SL is, and price wicked some drawdown of the original entry and continued. I don't think we were risking too much either, so it wasn't like it was a massive sized stop loss. It was less than the original entry. 15-minute we could see it was bullish, but it actually retraced further, so kind of a shit entry. You can see there was some bearish pressure, and so we only had 2 confirmations, so price did go down further. Yeah, that 1 hour was bearish, even though there was a doji. It just wanted to go down further to sweep more liquidity within the demand zone. 4 hours showing bullish pressure. We see that Maribozu, so yeah, that's why we entered into this. Only 2 confirmations, so further retracement and decision to enter would have been better. Wednesday, so this was connected to the Monday trade. On Wednesday we got out of this trade, so that was 0R. I didn't actually get it, but we got into profit just here, and I exited with maybe like plus £10 or something. It was yeah, it's crazy. And what I wrote here is funny how I entered to make money and then went into exponential drawdown for over 1 week just to break even. It was a waste of a week. You couldn't even call it a waste, it was more of a massive lesson. So Wednesday we got 2 small L's plus 1 big win, so we'll go over the L's now, which is interesting because yeah, it's actually a really good week in terms of lessons, because these losses are good lessons, as well as the wins around it. It wasn't top heavy, if that makes sense, or bottom heavy in this case. So I scaled in quite abruptly after seeing buying pressure passed after the ADP NFP. So this was it, the 15-minute. We just see a little bit of buying pressure and I entered. But the 1 hour, this was following bearish momentum that stepped in. So this was more risky than it should have been. Higher time frame was indecisive. We have been pushing up more, so considering with the 1 hour bearish, there is room for price to just go down. We see that 1 hour bearish pressure, and I just entered after seeing 15-minute bullish pressure. So yeah, always look at the medium time frame if the lower time frame is trying to give us some sort of signal. Second loss, which was a bit bigger, where we tried to enter straight after some heavy bearish pressure. We see some doji bullish tries to enter, we just decided to enter. 1 hour, we have two bearish looking crows, and I just tried to enter after literally a heavy bearish Maribozu looking candle. So really silly, really silly. A higher time frame, we can see here it had some bearish pressure, and we're trying to buy into that. It didn't make sense. The price action was not on our side, and that's why we lost. I want to exit but decided to stay because of science. Silly situations is not to be repeated. 4 hour close with bearish indication. 4 hour, you can see the bearish indication. But the 1 hour order block mitigation with pro trend is possible. So I think that's the ego really saying, talking about possibilities. We need to be more objective and get in with more conviction as opposed to gambling, because that's really what the ego is about. But that's my style. Here I wrote, my decision to leave was based off my wants to move my stop loss. As we know, that's not worth it. That's not worth it. -1R. Yeah, silly that I would even want to move my stop loss. So yeah, we learned that from last week. This is what I'm happy about, because I'd lost those two trades before. Here I am coming back in and making a big win. Yeah, this is like a big win, like on top of the original entry that I big entry 2 on Tuesday. I literally couldn't hold back in relation to the uptrend. I saw this 15-minute buying pressure, bullish pressure coming in. I was like, I'm in, bro. I'm not gonna like trade after this if I lose, but I'm in. 1 hour then was showing bullish too, and we got this in relation to the uptrend, so we were just like in. We just in. We can see the 4 hour just had some buying pressure, swept liquidity, and the rest is history. I mean, we got the win, and I'll go over that in the last 2 slides. Yeah, we see these entry confluences. We've got 4 fat entry confluences. I mean, look at this 4 hour, 3 white soldiers, as it's called in the technical world. So 4 hour internal demand zone mitigated. It's actually an internal breaker structure. So we are actually looking for price to retrace below this internal breaker structure because there is an unmitigated demand zone. But because we're in this current pro trend, there's a reason we entered now, and we're going to wait for price to retrace further afterwards, after it gets into this supply zone, which is already sort of in post this week. A 15-minute buying pressure wick, internal demand zone mitigated, pro trend, 4 hour, 3 white soldiers. Yeah, it was on our side, man. So yeah, we continued on, and let's enter Thursday, where we entered towards a premium, trying to push further, basically just really sort of bulldoze upwards. Entered, and price just turned around. I mean, 15-minute we see bullish, 1 hour bullish as fuck. Let's see what time this was at. Thursday at 9:15. So yeah, I was looking bullish on the 1 hour, and then on the 4 hour it was just hella premium pricing. It was already bulldozering up, and yeah, I kind of blind faith really in the fact that we were just trying to push further, aiming for our take profit with the ego wanting to be correct. And we can see here literally around that same time where I entered, we got that push, but then it started coming down. The 15-minute we're looking at, we saw this heavy bearish candle, 15-minute lower high, and I've seen this multiple times this past week. Every time we see this lower high sort of rejection, we want to get out of that position. That's bad news, really. Maybe not in the long term, but definitely in the short term, that is bad news. And here, this is the biggest mistake that we made all week. where we moved stop loss wider than this because of little extra risk. This was a tiny, small position. There was nothing really much to lose. I think that was £10 at the time. And then we moved further down, times 2 risk, only because of low size, so that was £20. Moved it one last time, trying to justify it. That's the ego. This is what we had a problem with in January. And that was times 3 risk. So the result, 3 times more loss than needed. And that was -1R. There's something not to sleep on is how we entered on the premium. There was reason to exit, and we moved stop loss 3 big L's in this, just -1R. So yeah, nice lessons in this standard loss. And then we have a win on Thursday. Just to wrap up everything, this was a tiny position that we entered on. 15-minute had some buying pressure. After sweeping lows, it mitigated this order block, and that was our confirmation to enter with the buying pressure and the pro trend. You can see in the short term it went down, but then obviously it just went down to then continue back up. So yeah, that was just something to look out for in the short term. And then we were correct in our second entry. The 1 hour, we can see, wasn't completely ready to go up. I don't know what time this was at, like 1:30 something. So it doesn't look completely ready to go up, but hey, we're in this pro trend. 4 hour looked fucking dangerous, man. I was holding, bro. This is where my bollocks was getting tested. I was like, this is pro trend. I don't think it's ready to go down. It'd be too easy to sell, as they say. It's too easy to sell. If it's too easy, then you don't want to be getting in. And this is where I was like, holy shit type thing. Like, I know some pro traders who got out at the top of this because they saw the slower momentum stepping in. We should have really exited around this point, all our positions. That would have been the maximum profit that we could have gotten. But we entered. Yeah, we were in some lower time frame confirmation that we really don't want to be focusing on, but there is it's fractal, so the 5-minute confirmation does go into the 15-minute confirmation, and it worked out how I closed all these trades. So this is taking profit before the weekend. Towards the end of Friday, I saw this buying pressure, and I moved all the stop losses below this candle, and that was plus 500, which was my minimum profit that I was making. So I was happy. At that point I was pretty content. Price then went up to about 600, and I was looking to take profit tonight. Price actually went to about 700, but I had some things to do at about 6:30 p.m. or something. I was like, I don't want to be focusing on this. Let me do my other work and let's just take profit and do my other work, because my other work is like music, so it doesn't really coincide together. So I got out. Price did go up to like 700. I got out at 600. I'm not even upset about that, because I actually made a deal with myself. These little bets and deals that we make with ourselves. I was like, okay, so I want to invest £150 elsewhere every time. Well, not every time, but on this occasion I want to invest £150. And so, being £600, £150 out of £600 is 25%. And so I decided that, okay, I'll take £600 out this time, and it was 150 I wanted to invest. So now my decision is that I'm investing 25% of my profits elsewhere every time I have a winning week. I closed all positions for the week. It's just a good week, and I've got some lessons. Yeah, it was just a nice mixed bag of overall winning, but also three losses too. So the first lesson is that there's good patience at the start of the week. Now this one I really wanted to put in, because I didn't take that trade on Monday, and I was just happy I didn't take a trade on Monday, because I was just like, I was doing well in terms of composing myself and being steady and careful to then really analyze and decide whether I was getting into this trade or not. Then I just went into Tuesday, and we had a great week. So yeah, that was worth noting. Number two is that I had a good entry analysis, the wick mitigation, and good confluence and composure. It's just generally an overall just embodiment of a professional trader. This I'm improving my lifestyle. I'll go over psychology analysis too. Number 3 is that I had good belief write up post entry. So this is something from Super Trader, which mentions every trade we enter, write what we believe as we enter it. So that was something I've started doing, and there's so much you can learn from just that belief write up. So that's something which I need to do now, and it's sort of adds to the composure that we're entering this trade for whatever reason that we're thinking at the moment, and beliefs control everything. The 4th lesson is to wait for the clear 15-minute pressure. Not doing so equals losses. What I'm saying is just wait for that clear 15-minute pressure to step in, and that was why we decided on Wednesday that we had to get into that trade. There's no hesitation. It was like, if I don't get in this trade, then I'm gonna lose out. If I lose this trade, then that's fair enough. There's that feeling, and yeah, just wait for that clear 15-minute pressure. Number 5 is at a premium. Now this is where I've lost quite a few times, and this is what I was writing on Thursday. At a premium, look to move the stop loss to break even on that premium trade, or exit before moving stop loss. So that's the thing, where we need to be looking to move the stop loss to break even around that premium pricing, or just exit before moving the stop loss. So that's important to exit if we are seeing that heavy sort of precious no longer continuing and actually reversing, pivoting. If wanting to move the stop loss, just exit the trade. We can move it a tiny bit for certain things, but things like at a premium, moving stop loss, like you might as well just switch positions. Yeah, so exit the trade. And number 6 is that it's good risk management at the end of the week. Just to end it with a positive, because it was a positive week, so it was good risk management. We moved that stop loss below at the very end for confirmation that we were making money. I wasn't sure whether it was minimum 500 or maximum 700. So yeah, we just want to exit before most weekends. But I have had it before where I stayed in a trade, and after the weekend, because I was on the right side of the trend analytically, I was ready for this trend to move, I stayed in the trend, and I massive gap up and made so much more money going into the next week. That was a really specific time that I remember staying in over the weekend was good. So 9 times out of 10, exit before the weekend. I'm happy with this week. Lots of lessons moving forward, and we just got to continue with the composure and confluent analysis moving forward. Yeah, it's just psychology. Just keep it going. Stay strong. And yeah, let me go through this psychology. Fuck, that doesn't sound like a real word. The psychology analysis, because that has been changed. I've got some really interesting stuff. We came to Devon. We travelled on the Sunday, and so this was the first day where things were a little bit scatty. No gratitude, 6 hours deep work not being done, 2 healthy meals wasn't achieved, and no reading. My presence and internal affirmations have been really good, man. It's been really good. I have not been talking to myself that much. When I do, it's very minimal. This is the craziest it's ever been. Normally I'm crazy, I'm insane, but in the past few weeks, I've just been a lot more certain in myself. There's a lot of chaos going on, and I've been through a lot of shit in my life, so I understand this chaos. But to see other people not understanding this chaos is basically what's going on in my mind most of the time, and it's not even like I'm not able to speak out loud about it because it's confusing. So we just got to continue bettering ourselves and being influential to the next generation. Let's just continue moving forward because there's more levels I need to get to too. So Tuesday, all good. We can see all good. Sunlight, meditation, gratitude, run, all good. Gym, stretching. That was stretching on Tuesday because we do Sunday, Monday and Thursday for gym. And then no 6 hours deep work, 2 healthy meals per day, 1 hour reading, presence. This is all good. Wednesday is the same. but we noted that we did 2 to 3 hours of deep work here. Now I want to go over what I've been doing in my mornings now, because I used to wake and bake every morning basically, and I do sometimes have it in the evening too, because I'm trying to make music. You know, I'm a creative motherfucker. I'm trying to write stories. I'm trying to, because I can't wake and bake and fucking read a book and do work and fucking numerically measure these markets. So I've changed my morning joint to Ashwagandha, I think it's called. Let me get the thing. And I've been having one of these Ashwagandha capsules in the morning because it increases testosterone and helps with focus, helps with sleep, and even just the placebo of it is amazing. Just the fact that, you know, it increases testosterone from 10 to 17%. I don't, weirdly enough, I don't even really feel it in the morning as much as I do in the afternoon. Nevertheless, I'm getting more work done and far more is getting done, and that's just increasing my testosterone just because I'm achieving shit. It's right there, son. It's Ashwagandha complex, and you might be able to see, hold on, let me, right here it says KSM 66. And that is really the extract, that is the part which is really important to have, because that's the thing which basically like has that testosterone boost and whatnot. I think that's what they say is the most important. And yeah, man, I've been having one of these in the morning, and bro, they're quite big capsules. Let me see if I can, kind of smells a bit earthy, so yeah, bro, you can see that, quite big motherfuckers. But yeah, man, I've just been having one of them, and then just getting on with shit, you know, like my stretching, my work. I've been reading a fuck ton. So yeah, man, it's been fucking, I'm just really grateful that that's my new go-to in terms of morning supplement, as opposed to a fucking estrogenic joint which stops me from reading and working. And I'll link it in the description too, so you can read what it says. It links to UK based stuff, but you can probably find something similar on your in your country which is on that same line of promotion, you know, and nothing sketchy, you know, something which is actually like, you know, trying to do good. Boom, exactly the same. We didn't really understand how much deep work we were getting on Thursday. Not too much, I don't think. Friday, 3 to 4 hours deep work, exactly the same, smashing it. And then Saturday, we've done sunlight, we've done run, we've done 1 hour reading, we haven't done the second meal yet. But I'm saying we've done maybe 4 to 5 hours of deep work today. I've created 3 videos today, including this one, so I'd say about 4 hours deep work. And so yeah, it's all gone well, man. It's all gone well, and we're just focused on, yeah, this is good. I've basically got all my work done for the weekends. Just gonna start tomorrow with a gym workout, start writing some lyrics and some stories for my music. Yeah, I hope everyone has a great week ahead, and just, you know, passionately pursuing consistency in making money. And that's what it's about, just improving ourselves, making sure that we don't make the same mistakes, making sure that we become the best person, the best individual we can be inside and outside the markets. So yeah, peace.